Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Andre from the Opinionated podcast, and I just want to remind you that we are live every Sunday on our Facebook page, and you can find us wherever you stream your music at the Opinionated podcast. So we drop a new episode every Tuesday. So remember to like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Enjoy the show.
Bang.
Hey, welcome to the Opinionated podcast, and we are your hosts.
I'm Cool Kev. I'm on this side.
Always look at. I'm Kevin Durant.
And I'm Andre, and we got a special guest today. Could you introduce yourself, sir?
Hey, how you doing? My name is Moe Foe. I'm an author, self-published, independent Black author from Washington, D.C., born in Washington, D.C., raised in Washington, D.C., in PG County. I still reside here in my native city, and I'm just happy to be here.
Word. That was
Word.
that was a dope intro. All right.
Yeah. Tell it like it is.
So,
Cool, man.
like always, how we do, we want to start off by getting your backstory. You know what I mean? Tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, you know, how you was raised, everything, all that. So, it's all yours.
Okay, well, like I said, my name is Moe Foe. I'm an author of the book Zebra. It's titled Z-BRUH. And it's about a guy who came from the streets, trying to get out the game. Sort of like my kind of story. I came from a good home, you know what I'm saying? My mother, father, they was good people, try to raise me right in the church or whatever. But I guess, you know, the law of the streets got me. I mean, my people was working class people. They never really had nothing, but they worked and went to church and wanted to raise me good, but we never really had anything, you know what I'm saying? We tried to make best or whatever. So I jumped out there at an early age, 15, 16, hustling, weed, crack, whatever. Around the age of 24, I get locked up for possession with intent to distribute over 448 grams of cocaine. I spent majority of my 20s in prison. Didn't come home until I was almost 30. I'm about to be 39 now. When I came home from prison, I was out on probation for about 5 years, getting to run around or whatever, and ended up going back in on a violation in 2016. In 2016, that's when I wrote this book while I was in on a violation. Came home in about 2017, sat it down, really didn't do anything. Picked it back up during the pandemic because, you know, everything was closed down, wasn't nothing to do. So started editing, going over stuff, typing, printing. I wanted to do self-publishing because I didn't want to do a big publishing company because it's like I wanted to keep all the royalties and rights of my own work. So I shopped it around to a couple self-publishing companies and I chose Gatekeeper Press, and they distribute my book on several different platforms: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kobo, Ingram, Walmart.com. So that's just a little bit about myself, a little bit about my background. Like I said, I used to hustle, sell drugs or whatever. So being an author is still kind of new to me. I'm a reserved person. I'm an introvert. I'm a loner. So this talking right now is something I really don't do or whatever. But I'm getting.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, and I'm just getting used to it and opening up. And it was like people was telling me, "You're a hustler now. You're always going to be a hustler, but your hustle now is books. So in order to sell your product, they want to know a little bit more about the hustler."
Right.
And so that's why I'm coming on these podcasts. It's something out of what I like don't ever do is talk too much, but it's good to open up. I see. So yeah,
It's
Absolutely.
not necessarily easy to do, but
So,
And I feel like you definitely have an interesting story. So I want to ask you a question. So go.
go ahead. I was going to
You
show
gonna, you
people.
gonna keep interrupting me?
No, I'm just going to show
you got
people.
raise your hands when you want to talk. Raise your hands.
Just a
All right?
photo of the book right here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
all want
appreciate
to show.
that.
There you go. Bang.
Yeah. So when it came to just getting locked up on that violation, what made you sit down and say, you know what, this is the time where I'm going to write this book? Or did you always have the idea of writing a book, or that time of getting locked up told you like, you know what, I'm gonna try something different and I'm gonna hit them with this?
definitely made me try something different. Like I said, I never had no plans of writing a book. I don't even like talking that much. So it was just basically I could only do but so much: read books,
Mm.
write, work out, watch a little TV. So I always try to do different stuff, take my mind out of there when I was in there. So I started messing around and wrote the first chapter.
Mhm.
Wasn't really taking it serious and just kept writing, just kept building, just kept doing it. And when I came home, I read over it several times or whatever, and I like what I had did. Let a couple people, female, male, read it, whatever. They didn't even believe I wrote it. So once they was like, "Yeah, this is pretty decent. You should do something with it." I sat it down because real life was going on. I had a crazy ass PO on my back, had
Mm.
to work, so it's like I just like put something on hold that I should have been put out because I'm getting a good response from the book. A lot of people like it, and a lot of people said I should have been put it out. So for anybody that's sitting on their dreams or goals or something, man, do that shit now. Don't wait for the right time because the right time ain't never gonna come. You gotta
For
make it the
sure.
right time. You have
For sure. So you if you don't want, you still on papers?
mm-mm.
All right, first of all,
No papers. No,
congratulations on your
thank you.
freedom.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your freedom, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Next month will be
Um
four years. I'm off papers. No probation, parole, nothing. I'm just free.
s-
Yeah. So,
so
Nice.
what were some of the adversities that you find yourself going through as you were writing and then trying to figure out how you were going to publish your book? You wanted to, self-publish and maneuver your way through an industry that you are just now learning and just now trying to be a part of. What did you find was an adversity, and how did you overcome that?
some of the adversities would be the self-published author is the marketer. Like, just some people just don't. You can't pay some people to help you. Like,
Wow.
uh,
Really?
a prime example. I'm not gonna say any names, but one of the best, one of the top five marketers in New York told me that basically no one would be interested in my book, and they pass on it. And I was willing to pay some couple $1,000s just to get it out there because I know New York's a big ass market. And they
Absolutely.
basically told me nobody in New York wants to hear anything about your book or a story about no new urban novels. We got enough of those. But in so many words, that's what I was told. And I'm thinking to myself, like, not one person in the Bronx, not one person in
Right.
Brooklyn, like not at least one person wants to read the book. You don't know that. So it's like the adversity is real. And even in my own city in DC, it's five black owned bookstores, and only
Mm.
one at the time carries my book. And I've reached out to all five of them several times. So it's like
Wow.
I'm here. One of the actual bookstores is probably 8 blocks from where I'm sitting at right now, and will not carry my book.
Is there
I
any
don't.
specific
I was
reasoning?
about to ask.
Not. They don't even follow up on. I've
Wow.
talked to that place like two different times, and they haven't followed up after that.
Wow.
So
Do you think
that
that
that's some of
uh
the adversity. But
do you
yeah.
think
Absolutely.
that any part of your history they may feel as though they don't want to deal with you because of things that you've done in your past, or do they know nothing about you and they're just putting this situation to the side like, oh no, nobody's worried about that, and they don't have no idea who you are?
Yeah, I think that could be it. I mean, a lot of people say you're just starting out and you're just getting into the game. So I'm still fairly new and learning a lot of stuff that I just like didn't know. Like it's a lot of stuff to self-publishing, but that's why a lot of self-publishers end up with their own publishing company because they don't have. It's
Mm.
easier to get a publishing company to get your book in the store as opposed to just me being a self-published writer by myself trying to get books into different markets. But I think like Gatekeeper Press did a excellent job. Like on the form when I had to fill out and apply, it was just like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, like several of those. But it's in Walmart, it's in
Big, big companies.
several other places that I never thought it'd be. So I think that was the best thing to do with the self-publishing. And I still retain all my rights, royalties, or whatever. So if I want to do something else with the book or whatever in the future, I can. So
Word.
It's fire.
I want to get into whatever you can give us because we don't want to give away the book. But I want to get into that later. I have another question. As far as like series, do you plan on or what is it, trilogies, or do you plan on writing anything else in the zebra lane, or like do you want to go into any other type of, do you plan on still writing?
Like a sequel.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is part one in a 4 book series.
Okay.
So this is
Right.
part one. Part two is the follow up to this. Part three is the spinoff, and part four brings the whole series full circle.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do some. I'm not sure if you read the book or not, but I'm gonna do a story about Junkie Man. Excuse me, Junkie Man. That's one of the characters in in the Zebra novel,
Right.
and that's gonna be like based on some true events. Like I'm gonna incorporate some stories that I've heard from real crackheads and real dope fiends into that book. So yeah, I'm. This is just the beginning. Like I'm gonna keep it going. I want to get to the point where I'm like Master P pushing out a book every month. You hear me? Like
Damn.
I'm trying. I'm just trying because I like it. Writing's like another different type of therapy for me. Like you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Right.
Like besides smoking weed, women, I exercise. I like writing. Like it like takes my mind out of it. You know what I'm saying? If that makes a little sense.
It
It
makes
Like
takes me
perfect
to a
sense.
different takes me to a different level, and I like. And then when people accept it or they like it or like when's part two coming out, that like really motivates me to keep going.
Right.
I
So
like how you said
actual
weed
question, like
weed and women as a therapy. When I feel
Yeah,
like I need
definitely.
therapy, I need
A
therapy
good
after a
woman,
woman.
yeah, a good woman, but a good woman gonna be therapy. You heard it, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got a good woman, and
I-
she causes me to need therapy.
It happens,
So
champ. It
that's what
happens.
that's what you're going to do. You know what? Let me ask you a question. Another question.
Mhm.
What would you say is your target audience? Like, what would you classify as your target audience if you could narrow it down?
That's a good question because I'd say like people, the black, of course, the black community, the urban novels, the people that read urban novels, street people, stuff like that. The
Mm,
people incarcerated, but generally everybody, because I get a good response from a lot of white people, a lot of Hispanics. So it's like, and then I did a lot of Facebook boost posts
yeah.
and just look at target areas, and I get a lot of likes and stuff, comments from people all across the country. So yeah,
Okay.
it's like
So
I think in this day and era with shows like Snowfall and Power and stuff like
good
that.
shows, good
I
shows.
think
right.
yeah, definitely. I think that opens the door for people who weren't interested in that type of stuff to want to be interested in any type of new type of street stuff that comes out. So
Right.
I think I came out at the right time, to be honest with you.
How's
Yeah.
the feeling when I know the feeling of when you get compliments from people within your own culture when it has to deal with our culture. How is it when you receive compliments and accommodations from people that's outside the culture when it comes to your book and them commending you and telling you how good it is? Is the feeling different than if it's like from somebody who's, who's been through the same mud, the same dirt that you've been through? Is the feeling a different type of feeling when someone like a white person tells you, yo, this book is really good compared to someone who's been in your hood or a friend that you've
Mm.
been dealing with all your life? Is it a different type of like do you just get a different type of feeling of of what's the word I'm trying to get? Um
said
Elation.
oh yeah, elation is a good word.
Boom.
I
Word
like
of the
that.
day.
Yeah, it's I'd say it's levels because I think no feeling is better than when I actually made my mama proud. You know what I'm saying? Like I did a lot
Word.
of fucked up shit in my life, like in and out of prison, hustling, gunplay, just a lot of dumb, fucked up shit. But we all grow up, we all, you know what I'm saying, become
Right.
men and become wiser. But to actually do something in life that made my mama proud, that was probably like the best thing. But
Mm.
to touch on other people, uh when I was in I'm in a lot of Facebook book clubs and book groups. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I came across Kevin.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah.
That's,
So I kept when I was doing like small little promotions of my book, I kept writing black author. So a white guy, older gentleman, he posted, stop posting black author, just post author. And when he said that, that meant a lot because it's
Mhm.
like he don't see no color. He just sees the occupation. Like
Yep.
we're all on that same level.
Right.
And I took that as a pig giving like one of the best compliments. You know what I'm saying? Like that job like meant a lot. Besides my mother and besides homies in the hood that embraced it and said that's job like dope. Like you wrote a book. Like that's
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
It's
everybody,
impressive.
yeah, everybody do mixtapes and whatnot, and not knocking
yeah.
nobody hustle, but
Right.
books like just different. Like people don't write books in the hood, or people from the hood don't usually write books. It's usually a person from the outside looking in, or telling somebody else's story instead of a person that actually been through a lot of stuff that could tell actual factual job life stories that people won't connect with. So
So,
yeah.
but by saying that, how many people came at you was like, yo, like, what the fuck, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? That just looked down on you because they didn't think, because they always look at people that been through shit situations like that, like, yo, why are you doing anything with intelligence?
Yeah. Why try?
They always don't think we have intelligence if we come from the street. It's just like we just some dumb, as they like to look at as dumb animals.
Try to tell you it's not your lane.
Because they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
The haters.
The
Some
haters.
some
That's
people, yeah,
basically.
yeah. It's always gonna be haters in everything you do. So a lot of if it's haters around me, they don't voice it or they don't say it. I get a lot of love from people that
Yeah.
don't know me, people that do, people
Mm.
that know me for a long time, for years. It's like I guess a lot of people that see me like, man, damn, Mo's a good dude. I just like want him to win. I want him to. It's like he doing a book, so I'm gonna support it. I got people reading books that don't even read.
Right.
People that haven't read since high school just bought the book just because they homeboy did something dope, and we
Yep.
gonna support it. So hey, I like the positivity that I get from
That's good.
the book is overwhelming at times, and that definitely keeps me going.
Yeah. I got another question. So you mentioned earlier about things that you've done in your past, but I'm quite interested because writing books, being an author, but selling the book is part of the business. So how would you say you've used things that you might have done in the past to apply to selling this book and like the hustle of selling your book and getting your name out there? How have you applied some of the same things that you learned, and what maybe you learned some new stuff, you know what I mean? But how would you apply the same stuff you did before to what you do now?
Okay, well, using assets in the market, like it's a lot of free promotion with new books, new authors and stuff that I didn't know about that I was learning about as I went along. They could have been pushing the envelope way before I released it. So it's like it's a lot of opportunities, a lot of different stuff that can help new authors such as myself. And of course, I did basic promotions like I did like business cards and stuff. I did promotional stickers that I pushed all over the city, stuff like that. But
Mm.
the marketing, being a self-publisher, is like you gotta have the marketing yourself. You do everything. You gotta come up with the marketing strategy. So it's like me knowing just how to push a product. It's like okay, for a long time I was just posting the cover. So I got a bunch of people that was hooked like, wow, what's the cover? What's that book about? I like the cover.
Mm.
Then someone that said, post a synopsis of what the book is about, and you're gonna get way more people. And it's like a bell went off, like, why I ain't been doing that off top? Like I should have
Right.
been doing. Once I did that, I got a way bigger response. So it's like just applying my simple logic with certain things that I could do in other fields when I'm hustling or whatever, hustling different products or doing stuff. Like I'm currently getting shirts made. I'm gonna probably go out Vegas and April, and I'm gonna have that shirt on everywhere I go. Tell everybody about it.
Yep.
It's like self-publishing. You got to do it all yourself. Whereas the the big publishing companies, they just cut you a check and they do everything. But once you get once they got that check, that's it, and that
Yeah.
thing can go. New York Times bestseller turned into a movie, but all you got is that check. But that me being a self-published publisher, that's mine forever. Anybody that wants, and then the way I wrote it up is anybody that wants to say maybe do a movie or a documentary or show whatever, I got creative direction between around
Right.
anything on that project. So yeah, just owning my own, being independent, a self-made hustler is just I'm just applying those same traits to selling books.
So I mean, do you want to see your books turn into either a movie or series? You know, is that a goal for you, or you just
Yeah,
strictly?
I definitely want my book to turn into a series, a TV series. That's why I got like uh 4 books in the series, and I know I think it's still you have to have over 50 episodes to have it in a show in syndication. So if I can get 13 episodes for 4 seasons, that's 52.
Mm.
So that'll create a check for everybody that's involved with it for life. I'm trying to do something on that type of level with the series, and not only with just self-publishing. I want to get in my own publishing company because I want to help a lot of brothers that's in prison. A lot of them write stories just like me, and that's their way of getting out. They sell for their time being, and
Yep.
Mm.
I like to help them self-publish their books and help them get money and change their life. And for the ones that's got a long time, or the ones that's never coming home, or the ones that's got a short bit or whatever, just try to figure out I can find a way to help those brothers.
Speaking on them guys, man, because they always get a bad rap. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Which I hate because everybody's been in trouble, especially in the black community. We all been in there in that situation. We dealt with. We've been around dudes in that situation. They generally just good dudes in a bad situation, man. Can you speak on how what I mean? How you hate how brothers being perceived in the prison system that go in and out? Because sometimes it ain't their fault. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the situation they put in where they
Victim of circumstance.
you gotta, you know what I mean? A lot of dudes where I grew up, it was we had to do. No parents was around. I got 3 brothers in the house. I gotta feed them. You know what I'm saying? Ain't the lights ain't on, ain't no food in here. I got to do what I gotta do. Everybody always say, "Oh, why ain't mow the grass or shovel snow?" I'm like, bro, that shit ain't.
Sometimes mowing the grass ain't
Money
gonna
don't
get the
come that
lights turned
fast.
on
Yeah,
right
yeah.
then and there.
But
You
yeah,
know what I
but
mean?
speak positive on his brothers. I'm always I get tired of hearing the negative. They
Yeah,
come with
it's a
respect.
lot of good brothers in the hood. There's a lot of good brothers behind the wall. Like we all make mistakes, we all slip, but we can all get back up, bounce back. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a lot of homeboys that just try and try to do different stuff besides hustle, and it don't work out for someone. And some of them profit off of it. Some of them exceed or whatever and do well. And it's like a lot of them make bad decisions because they're in bad situations. Like not a lot of opportunities. Is the jobs they don't. They say they certain jobs hire felons, but they'll put you through the run around or whatever, and don't give you the job or whatever for whatever reason. So it's like it is definitely hard when a brother comes home and there's no opportunities, but the few government opportunities, you might, like I said, you might have a wild PO on your back. So I think that's the thing in the hood. Like we need more better jobs, better opportunities, better education, better living quarters for people.
Mm.
Defund some of these police because they out of control. They just out of
Yeah.
control, and it's like we gotta help. Another thing, we gotta help each other out when we in a position to help. our brothers out. We gotta help each other out and cut out the crab in the barrel syndrome because a lot of black people have that where they get ahead or they get out of a situation, don't reach back and help the next brother. So we gotta help our other brothers out too as well.
Yeah, for
You-
sure.
Now, going from that, I would like to ask you because I see the subject matter, which is like you said with power and with snowfall. I mean, we eat all that stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
BMF, you know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Yep.
So in the future, what I mean, because I mean, you're a published author. Do you plan on getting to any other type of? And we definitely gonna get into the book, but I'm
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got a bunch of questions. Do you ever plan on getting into any other genre like doing romance or doing what I mean, something it might have a hood twist on it, but it's a completely different genre like science fiction or something like that? You ever plan on getting into any of that?
Um, I'm not sure. I definitely leave the doors open, but like I tell people, my favorite two authors is James Patterson and Donald Goines, and it's like those are two opposite authors if you're familiar with them.
Right.
And like I want Zebra to serve to me like what is it? Alex Cross is the James Patterson, if you're familiar with that. Like
Yeah.
that's his main character. He
Mm-hmm.
pops back up here and there. So yeah.
There's a lot of Alex Cross books.
Yeah. But they made a movie.
They
Definitely
did.
there's
Tyler
like a
Perry
lot of
did, right?
spin-off stories and everything with it. So it's like you could do you build a foundation with one character, you could do different types of genres, different types of stories. Like it
Mm,
could be a love story about him and how his baby mother first met or whatever. Like
word.
so I won't limit myself to just urban novels.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I about to say I love horrors, whether it's books, movies, horror, science fictions, and stuff like that. If you're able to put like a little hood plot twist to it, that would be fire. Bringing
Yeah.
something different to the hood, something that they can kind of relate to, and then kind of like throw them off. Kind of like how Bones was with Snoop. You ever see
I
Bones?
did. It was terrible.
You ain't like it?
Nah.
That was my
I get
I
shit.
what
did
you
not
say
like it.
though. I get what you
Yeah,
say. Yeah,
yeah,
But
yeah,
because
yeah.
it had true history from Caprini Green and all
oh,
that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But I think that's the beauty of writing though. That's the beauty because you can literally like, especially if you skilled at it, whatever you could pull from your brain, like you can paint your own picture. And it sounds corny, but that's really what it is. And if I believe I said this before, if other people can pick that up and you could put them in that spot, then I think that's a win on its own.
Yeah, like I said, Biggie is one of the best authors in my head. Listen to a Biggie song, he put you there.
yeah,
He
Yeah.
put when you listen to it,
Yeah.
he put you there. You can visualize, you
yeah.
can see everything he's talking
He
about. That's a good thing about a good artist. Put you there. You like, damn.
he knew how to walk you through a song or
Yeah.
walk you through a story, so you can visualize exactly what he's going through, and the direction and the way you choose and stuff right now, it sounds like you in the same picture, you in the same boat, walking that same line. Because you already live in these situations, so you get inspirations from things that you already know, put it into
Yeah.
writing, letting everybody see your story from how you're envisioning it.
Right.
No
So
question.
so let's try to get into the book a little bit and without spoiling it. If you can give us a synopsis of the book, how does it go?
Okay. Zebra. He's running his neighborhood, his DC neighborhood. He's got a crew. He's got majority of his family in it, whether they're doing something business related or doing something with drugs. And he's finally ready to leave the streets alone. He wants to just focus on business, fall back, get out of the way, and brings the idea to his family, friends, his crew, or whatever. And some of them are with it, some of them against it, but he made his mind up. So he goes to his plug, let his plug know, or whatever. Plug not with it. So long story short, something happens when he meets with the plug, and instead of him getting out, he starts to get deeper back in. His businesses and stuff starting to crumble, and he has to find a way out and try to right his wrongs before he ends up in jail or ends up dead. And a little bit the gist of the book. So yeah.
Word. Where would you say you drew your inspiration from for that? Like if you could say that there was a specific person, you know what I'm saying? Like even if it's loosely based on them, did you draw that from a real person or a real situation?
Nah, like this book and the actual character Zero totally made up. Like nothing
Okay.
to do with anybody I know, anybody I dealt with, my story, anything like that. I could say me just writing the character, he has like some of the traits, or I can understand coming from the point of view of how it is to try to change your life and do different stuff and stop hustling, getting out the game, and what comes with that. But other than that, nah, this just a total. Like I said, I'm trying to build this character like James did on with Alex. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
yeah,
pretty interesting to me. That's interesting because to not use any actual like not to say inspiration, but not use any person to take traits from and then create somebody from scratch. Yeah, that's crazy to me. That's like
yeah,
that takes incredible imagination. Like for real.
It
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It does.
Now, you ever think about writing like something educational for people to read, like so far as like the how the justice system is corrupt or the prison system is corrupt? Do you ever think about writing something that can educate people? Because a lot of people is ignorant to what really goes on back, you know what I mean, in the hood. They see a video on TV, the first thing they say, why he resist or why he do that or why he put himself in that situation. You ever think about writing something to educate people who are
I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not trying to actually lead the revolution like Malcolm or Martin.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Everything
at
now
the end of the
hardcore.
day, yeah, like, at the end of the day, I'm an author trying to sell books, dope books, help other people write books. Uh, yeah, but I won't. Like I said, I won't limit myself. You never know. Like I said, I never thought I'd be sitting here doing stuff like this. So I'm not gonna limit myself.
Yeah.
But see, you can,
Opportunity
but you can put it,
knocks.
you can put it in.
Kev,
Nah,
you gonna tell him how to write a
nah, I
book?
ain't gonna say I write a
Yeah.
book, but
Yeah.
You can
nah,
educate.
no,
Kevin's a
but
published. He's a
nah,
published author as
I'm not
well.
educating. I'm not educating, but I'm saying you can put in the stories. You can make the story so people can visualize it. Because people when they read books, you get compassionate with your character that you read. You have empathy for your character. People don't have empathy for the people they see on the street. They have empathy for somebody that they're vested in. For his character in this book, you be vested in him. And you hear certain shit that he's going through. You like you'll start seeing that shit in the street, and you like,
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah. There's
I seen
Okay,
that in
yeah,
my book.
like what I was saying earlier about that spinoff of the crackhead. That's gonna use like actual stories based on stuff I've seen or people that have told me. So it's like
Junkie Man.
I can definitely spin it that way where it's a lesson involved and you can learn from how this person messed up their life or went down the wrong road. So yeah, I can like I said, I won't limit myself to anything. So hey,
That's interesting. And you know what? Because no one has, yo, you're right. You're right. No one has empathy for a crackhead or like the crackhead in the hood. You remember what you used to do to the crackheads in the hood. Like for real. You remember what they used to make them do. Especially I never done it, but like even people on the corner they made this dude.
We
They
had
made
empathy for Kendrick when he was on Power.
well,
He's a
that's
I
crackhead.
different.
mean, we talk about in
No,
the hood.
they made this dude jump off a roof, bro.
mm,
Broke his leg for some
Oh,
for a bag. But that's just a weird story. But anyway, but nobody ever thought
wait, that's
about
a true story.
that's a true story.
wow.
What you?
Yeah,
What?
his name was Eric. He probably
Bruh.
dead now, but like
Damn.
they made him jump off a roof,
Listen,
and they would make him do stuff like that all the
yeah,
time.
I
But
see wild stuff like that.
but nobody
I
ever
seen some wild stuff, but
nobody ever thought about how did that man become addicted? Him and his girlfriend, because it's always a girlfriend. How did
Definitely,
they? Yeah,
definitely. It's
how did they
always the
become addicted?
female.
yeah,
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 it's
Always the
always
female involved. Every story that the
every
dude told me,
time.
it was a female involved. In that '80s, it was a wild time. That's yeah.
Yep.
Crack love is the
Oh.
strongest love in the world.
Yeah.
But
I'm dead ass.
but
it's a
but
forever.
with
Yeah.
to speak on what y'all was just joking about, I was always the hustler that didn't mistreat them because
Mm.
of their addiction. Like I was on weed and liquor hard. Like I smoke weed every day, but I'm not on liquor. But that's my vice. Like I'm not gonna beat you down because you smoke crack or you do dope or you pop pills. Like I'm gonna still give you the same respect as a man or woman as you deserve, and that worked to my benefit. Like I had excellent customer service with the cluckers. Like they used to
Word.
love me just because I didn't treat them like shit like everybody else did, like smack them with a bottle or shoot at them or do some wild shit for laugh. Like I'm trying to, I'd sit down, listen to their story, give them food, stuff like that,
Wow.
and I was a different type of hustler because, like I said, I had it a little bit better than most of my homeboys. Like I had my mother and my father. Like a lot of my homeboys, folks was on drugs, on crack, or father wasn't there, or they lived with their grandparents raised them. Like you know what I'm saying. So I was blessed to have a better situation. So I had a heart. You know what I'm saying? Like I was raised in the church. You're supposed to show love. Like I was taught that. So I'm not gonna treat, even though I'm out here sinning or doing what I'm doing, I'm still not gonna treat them people like shit because that's still somebody, uncle, father, mother,
Uh-huh.
sister, brother. You hear me? So
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I feel you because it's
and
just
no judgment at all. Because I can't say I didn't laugh or
yeah.
crack up and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
We
hey,
did
you know what I'm
listen.
saying? It
Listen,
happens. That's the hood. But you know what I'm saying? That wasn't me. I ain't never do that shit. You know what
yeah,
I'm
because
saying?
I just
And
don't,
I
and
never
I
judged nobody that did it either. You know?
Right.
yeah,
So,
because
yeah.
No judgment at
they
all.
try to judge our era with a crack era. They made it. They painted that shit so horrible. But I had family members that was on it that I loved, that I cared about, but they was in the street. You couldn't do nothing for them. You know what I mean? I just hated how they used to paint them and shit like they are
Yeah,
people and
yeah,
shit.
yeah. They definitely people.
With
They
like,
got
cause
family and people that don't want them on drugs. Like the
Hmm.
yeah,
addiction is just stronger than them. And that's sad. But hey,
yeah, because how they got it now, now how it is now, the dope. You know what I mean? People on dope, they got commercials and free clinics and all this stuff. They want to help them. It just like y'all would have did that back then instead of locking this up. It'd have been a lot different. You know what I'm saying? For a
no
lot of people in
question.
the yeah.
Yeah.
So I noticed you said something earlier about like teaching. You know what I mean? And that kind of hit me a little bit. So for at least from my understanding, I've seen a lot of like nowadays, especially during the pandemic, it's a lot of people that go into that more if they have a business, right? The way that they kind of promote that business indirectly is more like teaching people how to do their business. It's the weirdest thing in the world. So if I got a podcast, you know what I mean? I will, even though I got a podcast, I'm trying to get people to listen to it. I would teach people how to podcast. Like you dig what I'm saying? Like give them
Yeah,
tips
yeah,
and
yeah.
tricks and all that. And that's kind of a back end way to promote your podcast. Have you ever thought about doing anything like that? Like just teaching people how to like write and what, like what kind of, because I wouldn't even know how to start, but
Yeah.
just teaching people how to write and get books out there and the things that you went through so that honestly you can get your brand out there. You ever thought about something like that?
Yeah. When I when I said earlier about like the publishing company, like that'll definitely help a lot of people. Self-publishing company because I learned a lot myself. So I gotta definitely pass that knowledge on to other people. And I got like homeboys and other people, to family members and stuff that have books or whatever, and they never did anything. So they're asking me for help now on just how to get started, how to the process, how much money, stuff like that. And I got all the answers now. Where as opposed to I had to go get that information myself,
Right.
but I'll gladly pass it along to other people. And yeah, no problem with teaching others.
That's dope. It's a lot of people that need that, like for real, because it's people that's spinning their wheels and don't know what's going on. Now I got another. This is a two-part question.
No
Well,
problem.
continuation from that. Have you ever thought about, or do you have like a mentor, like you know what I mean, a mentor to kind of show you the ropes? Maybe you ever thought about like maybe reaching out to a mentor, and if you did, who would you reach out to?
You asking, do I currently have a mentor?
Both, yeah.
Or
If you currently
oh
have a mentor,
well,
yeah.
no, I don't currently have a mentor. I go to advice from my mother. She's
The
like I
best, the
said,
best
she yeah,
mentor. Yeah.
definitely church school woman. I know she has my best interest. But Miss Eartha Hicks, she wrote my press release and she helped me through the process, and she just basically helped me understand how to present myself to the public. Like I said, I'm a reserved person, so she let me know, look, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that, you're gonna have to go on podcasts. And it was like, but I just like had to shake it because it's like I'm self-published. Ain't nobody gonna put the book out there
That's
but
right.
me. So I have to do it. So yeah.
You're a walking brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you could, like, say anybody, you know what I mean? If you could reach out to anybody to be a mentor, like, or to just get some game from, like, who would it be
Wow. Um, in the books or just in general?
in general? In general.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd say in the book world, I'd say definitely James Patterson. Like, because his range is out of control. Like, shout out to James Patterson because he definitely helped me through when I was in prison, like writing excellent books.
Word.
Outside of books, I just have to say Jay Z. It's like that's the name
It's a
that's
good
just
one.
popping in my head right now. Like he's just dope. Like you can't deny Jay Z. Like out of
Yeah.
all the other, yeah, like Jay Z, he's just his business sense
Mm,
Yeah.
was still basically staying true to the streets. Like no one looking at him as a sellout. Like he's just a hustler building his brand. Like that's how I always looked at him. Like he's not limiting himself to the corner. He's not limiting himself to music or clothes. Like he's bigger than all that. So
mm.
yeah, that's how you have to present yourself in business. I see. So yeah, definitely am.
We're gonna go deep. I'm sorry, because every time I ask you a question, I just want to know more. So, with both of those men, James Patterson, the man, right?
Nah,
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
of those
Yeah.
men,
he's
right?
a white
Right.
older man.
Perfect.
His name is James.
Come on, man. I've seen some crazy stuff. So, and people use pen names. Yeah.
Ah.
So if you had one question, one of them, both of them was just like, yo, you get one question. That's all I'm gonna give you. What would you ask both of those? Like, it don't gotta be the same question. What would you ask James Patterson, and what would you ask Jay Z? I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but I'm very interested.
Uh, what would I ask James Patterson? How how much are you intertwined with Washington D.C.? Because the
Mm,
details in his story about down to the names of certain projects is crazy to me. Like like I said, he's an older whiter gentleman. How does he know about Potomac Gardens housing project or
mm,
certain areas in places that white people don't go or just started to go because of gentrification? Like he was writing about that stuff in the crack era when the early '90s and stuff. So he's talking about those areas. So it's like how are you so intertwined with the city, but you're not from here?
mm.
And
That's dope.
Jay Z, 'cause it's like I could ask him music, business. It's
Right.
so much I could ask him. Um,
That one joint you could take away.
I'd ask him like, what exactly made you stop hustling? Like, what was it? What was that event? What was that one thing that said, you know what, this is it. I can't do it. I'm done. I made enough, and if I ain't made enough, I'm gonna figure out another way to make enough.
There you
That
go.
I'd ask him that. And that'd probably be too personal because be like, who the fuck is you, Slim? Like I don't know you, but
He probably would
as a
tell
as
you.
a
He
as
would
a
tell
business,
you.
yeah, as a
Probably
business
was
thing
when Emery
to
got locked up. Probably was then. That's
well,
my
he
dog.
had, he started out with 100,
Yeah.
right? He started out with wait, what did he come in the game with? He said
Game again with
100
he
grand,
$100.
said
right?
he
Yeah.
said 9 to be exact from grinding G
G
packs.
packs, yeah, yeah. So he was, I think he was all right, but no, I've never heard that before, and I think that's a very interesting question, especially if you're like kind of in a similar, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to know, like, man, did I cross that barrier already? Or am I just looking for that barrier or whatever I'm doing? I know you're not doing that. I'm just saying if anybody in that position, you're gonna want to know, like, yo, what turned that light switch on? Because this dude went crazy for like 30 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Still going crazy.
nonstop. Yeah,
Yeah. He's an incredible performer.
uh,
yeah,
incredible businessman because
definitely,
Yeah.
because
definitely.
I think he's like really one of the all rappers look up to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got the Puff, but Puff is not more of a rapper than he was a businessman to begin with. But as
Right.
far as rappers go, you look up to Jay. It's like he built his empire. You can see 50 starting to build it a little bit.
Yeah,
Starting.
Well, he is building. 50 is he
Stu
50
says starting.
was crazy because 50 got what he got a show on ABC now.
He has a show everywhere.
But that's what I'm saying. You
Well,
yeah,
people
yeah.
like people that came from the streets like that. ABC is like, I'm not touching it, but it's like I'm guessing how good of a writer he is and how
the story, bro.
the story.
The
Yeah,
story is sometimes, especially when you've proven yourself already, the story can do it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all you need. But he had to prove himself with power, and power just went so crazy. Now, that's another thing that I have a question about. Right.
Mhm.
If you should I wait till
No,
later
go
for
ahead.
this
No,
one?
no,
Go ahead.
Because
answer it, 'cause I
this is
know,
my question I think
I
is
know,
very interesting.
I know where you're going with it.
Yeah. If you were to bring your book to series with a show, who would you want directing? And I hate to pepper you with all these questions, but I do think you got interesting answers, bro. Who would you want to direct and star in your series? Z, bro.
Well, I'd want an all DC DMV cast, like
Word.
directors to writers to producers, actors, actresses. But I definitely want Big G, Anwan Glover from the Backyard Band. He was in the Wire. If you Slim Charles in the Wire, if you're familiar with him.
Okay.
Oh,
He's with the biggest go-go band in DC. He definitely, like, I already got his part set out if I was going to have anybody in this. Like, he's
Yes.
like
Okay.
he's a big feature here,
oh
a
yeah.
big name in DC, like a legend in DC, Big G. So yeah, he definitely be in it, and it'd be like local stars, like people that are actually from this area. They'll be in it, even if they're celebrities or big name actors or whatever. I want them all here, so everything will be authentic. Like,
Shit.
yeah,
DC's the home of the comics. A lot of comics came from DC, bro.
Hell yeah, like
Mhm.
didn't
definitely.
yeah, a lot of
And the
stuff.
surrounding areas like
Yeah.
Maryland and Virginia too. Like, it's this area is so small that we all intertwine. We all go to the same places, clubs,
Mm.
restaurants, and stuff. So it's like we all know each other in
Shit,
some way or another.
get
So
Pusha T in there, all of you listen.
Oh,
yeah,
Virginia.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
Virginia, bro. You
Virginia, I
can't.
know.
That's the seven cities, but yeah, like
Yeah.
come on too, Baltimore too. Like I
That'd be
don't,
so dope.
I was a hustler, so I go all through the DMV. I didn't just limit myself to one corner, one block. I'm going out Virginia. I'm going up Baltimore County. I'm going wherever the paper's taking me. So yeah, like everybody can come and be a part of. I just wanted just the authenticity. I wanted to be authentic. You hear
That's
me?
right.
Like right here, people from here, the stories from here, not no Hollywood stuff or
You can't
nah.
believe it. Yeah, you
Yeah,
looking at it
yeah.
like I can't believe
But that's
that
And that's and,
is
amazing,
that, and
who
that's
that
how I
is.
want to write books too. Like
authentic.
to a crazy thing that I tell people and they're not familiar with is it really blows their mind is that I'm not a fan of urban novels, even though I wrote an urban novel. Like,
Really?
nah, I don't like urban novels because it's like it's so super thuggish and outlandish. It's like, come on,
Right.
give me a believable story in the hood, like something that actually happened that you could believe happens. Like this dude, he owned the whole New York and he had 10,000 bricks. And come on, man, nobody want to hear
Yeah.
that extra super thug bullshit. Like, give some realistic stuff in the hood that people can relate to, people can take something from, people can learn from, and be inspired by. Like that extra stuff that people ain't never going to reach or achieve in the streets. And people don't like I said, I like James Patterson, Stuart Woods, David Baldacci. I like different types of writers that write about all types of topics, subjects, anything. Like, yeah, I'm not into urban novels and not knocking any of the urban novels. Besides,
Right.
like, I love Donald Goines books. Like, besides that, like, not knocking any of the urban novel, but I really don't read them. So it's like that sounds like real odd to people when they hear it.
No,
Nah, it's not odd. I think you will be able, if you looking at these guys' writing style, you'll be able to break that mold of just like it. Like, yeah, I'm from the hood, but my style ain't all this extra goofy stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
actual stories
yeah.
that you can relate to. That's not outlandish. Cause you read, like you said, you hear about some dude. I never met a dude that ran the whole city. I'll never be able to bump into a dude like that. But I got I got family members that they ran a small
Yeah, they
town that I
run
live in.
they block, they run their
Yeah,
project.
they
Like that's
block.
more believable. You know what I'm
Yeah, they
saying? Like, yeah,
these 2 blocks are theirs. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's my cousin. I can see him. I can actually know that that's my family member. Hey, he run
yeah,
these
yeah,
two
yeah.
blocks. Yeah,
yo,
I
you
do.
so high. I'm sorry. I'm looking at him. I thought he was asleep. I'm like, yo.
All
I'm
right,
a high
yeah, me,
shit
I'm
too.
looking at you
Brother.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
For some
Yeah,
reason, and it's when you said that, and I might be completely wrong because I haven't read a urban novel, or heard about any in like years that I was like, yo, that you know what I mean? Because it's something that you hear about. For some reason, I feel like when they go too over the top, because I heard that too, and it is a turn off. If you, I'm not from I've never been in the streets.
yeah,
As far I'm street adjacent, but I've never actually been in the streets. And when something sound like BS, do you feel like? Well, I feel like that kind of comes from when it comes from a female author's point of view,
Not a female. It's
because I
just
feel like
somebody who
that's
never,
how they see it.
somebody who never really. I think it comes from people who never
Actually
experienced,
experienced it.
never
yeah,
experienced it.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's certain stuff. Even street adjacent. I just got family members. I got brothers. I got dude. I just like I'm not doing that. Y'all is just you know what I mean. But I'm with y'all. But I ain't
Yeah,
going over the top with
you
y'all. But
snitching.
I seen stuff, and you see stuff that is you hear something in the book like yo nobody would do that.
you don't
yeah,
have to
Right.
yeah,
be, you don't have to be a
Yeah,
street nigga to be
yeah,
in the
you
streets.
wouldn't do that,
You,
bro.
you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. It was niggas that was in the hood. They played basketball, but knew the dealers. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They
yeah,
live
Yeah.
and they live in that area. They don't want to do what everybody else does, but they still have to deal with the same shit regardless because they
yeah,
still see it. You know what I mean?
You gotta be able to walk outside. I
Yeah,
like to be
you know
able
what
to
I'm
walk
yeah,
saying.
outside
yeah,
And you know what I
and be
yeah,
mean,
comfortable.
when you live in or around the hood, it's going to be within you regardless. You know what I'm saying? You're going to know people
Yeah.
who do stuff that you don't, and you're going to see things and hear things, and stuff is going to affect you the same way, if not worse. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't live the life and then you lose people that you really care about because they in that shit affects you
Oh
differently
yeah,
because it's like,
trust me.
damn,
Yeah.
I'm trying not to do that. You doing that, you gone, you know what I'm saying? Like, or they get locked up, or you get locked up for being around somebody that happened to be wrong place, wrong time. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's always a situation that you can take from that, whether you live the life or you don't.
Yeah, there's been a couple of
yeah,
those.
definitely, no question.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we know. We
so
know it's people.
from here, what's next for you? Like, where do we? Matter of fact, you know what? If you could lay out at least the next 5 years, what is next for you as far as where you try and take this? Where you're going to take this? Excuse me. Where you're going to take it?
Well, I'm currently writing part two of this book.
Okay.
Working towards, like I said, part three is a spinoff, so I'm gonna write that with somebody. I'm not
Mm.
sure if you some of y'all read the book, but the spinoff's gonna be based on Diablo, and Diablo's like a main character in my first book, and I think that's gonna be the one right there. Mm. But
I'm excited about it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, see, I
that's gonna
like
be the
that.
Yeah.
work because I the concept I got of you know what I'm saying, Hispanic drug cartel guy covered. I'm gonna write it with
Somebody who
like I said, authenticity is
word.
my thing. So it's gonna be a dope book. I want to put out at least like 20 or more books. Like I said, I want to get to the point where I'm comfortable and I know the process. And with the publisher company, I can just put it out there like that. Like I don't have to wait. So I can put out a book a month or a book every other month, like the Master P formula, just keep people hooked.
Yeah.
While I got that buzz. Like I got people right now that want part two as soon as they're done reading part one. And it's like I learned you gotta give them part two, part three, part four, or they're gonna lose interest and it's gonna be harder to bring them same people back. So I'm gonna just keep pushing, keep going, keep doing podcast interviews,
Mm.
whatever to just keep the brand going in between putting out the next product. So yeah.
I got a question. Um, going into you having the 4-part trilogy or 4-part sequels for these books. How often do you find yourself penning up different ideas, like you see something and you see it relate to maybe the book, or you grab an idea, you jot it down real quick, or you put it in some notes, or do you find yourself freestyling once you already have an idea for the next book, and when it's time for you to come into it, do you just freestyle your way through it?
I do definitely jot down ideas as I go along for this new one. I keep reading my first novel, so everything coincides perfectly. Like it's not okay. What happened with this? Nah, you understand. Okay, what happened the next day? Because it's like the second book picks up right where the first one left off. So everything's trying to coincide.
Mm.
So I'm always jotting down stuff, typing stuff, editing. So yeah,
Mm.
definitely always working on the next product.
Man. Now I got a weird question. It's a one-off question. What software do you use to write your? It sounds stupid, but I'm very curious. What software you use to
Um,
write your stuff on?
the regular Google
Word.
Doc, yeah, Google Word, Google Documents.
Got you.
I
Okay.
got a Rocket book as well, and that I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's
No,
like an
what's that?
actual notepad. It's digital, and you can write on it. It's got a certain type of pen, and you can carry it anywhere you go. It's like an actual notepad, like,
That's what I wanted to know. Okay.
and
Yep.
it sends your notes or your paragraphs, whatever, to your actual Google account. So when I come pull up my computer, I can format my ideas and my thoughts and my paragraphs that I wrote
Oh,
on the
that's fire.
Rocket book. I can
Crazy.
wipe it off with the magic, and I'm saying it's magic
Whoa.
because that's what they call it. But yeah, it's a magic wipe off. So
Sir.
it's not like if I leave my notebook, nobody's got it. I save it to my Google, boom, wipe it off, and I can just keep. So that's like I wish I had it on hand to
John's
show
like an
you.
adult easy sketch.
Told you that wasn't a
Yeah,
stupid question.
bro.
it's
See,
I
called
said,
see,
it's called a
say it
rocket book.
was.
Yeah, I got
rocket book.
yeah, a rocket book.
Y'all hear
Yeah,
that?
That
People
was
that's writing,
dope.
people
Rocket
that's
book,
listening to
yeah.
this episode,
yeah.
that's writers.
It send it
Try to
right to your Google account, your Google document, and
Don't need to be a
yeah,
rocket
you
man
come
to have
back,
a
pull
rocket
it
book.
back up later, edit, do whatever you want, format it. Like, yeah,
see, yeah, cause
that's for
That
writers
sounds
that's on the go.
convenient as hell.
Like it's actually in my car right now, so that's why I don't have it because it's like,
Take it on the go.
yeah. So if I'm anywhere or boom, okay, I could put that in chapter two, wow, and send
That's
it to my
clutch.
Google, wipe it, boom. Yeah, definitely clutch,
dang.
definitely.
Word.
Yeah.
See, we learn this shit.
I'm about to go get a
We learn
rocket
a
book.
lot of things now, man. Like this whole interviewing
That's what
thing
we
style
need.
for us is new. This is something we trying to do new. So I'm glad we got authors like you because we
Yeah.
want to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
get
Man,
the
thank
spectrum of
y'all. Yeah,
everybody, man. We want to help people out, man. That's what we about, man.
And I'm
appreciate y'all,
I'm
man.
gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you. And when it comes to this interview, as far as when we started talking to you and you went over your story, that's why I said the story is the story makes people connect to what you write. But when we started talking to you, you told me your story. I was automatically interested in how you thought. That's why I asked you so many questions. We don't do that to everybody.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
We
yeah.
don't do
No
that to
question.
everybody.
don't.
I'm literally
Usually we're
interested. Like, yo, I need to
bantering,
know
but
what he thinks about
yeah.
this, how we, and you gave us mad interesting answers. That's why I'm saying, like, this one was different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very interested, and
Nah, man.
I appreciate you too.
Yeah, man.
I,
For
hey,
sure.
I
Yeah,
enjoyed myself.
Sure.
Definitely.
yeah, we
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah.
So all right,
Nah,
so
nah, we got to get.
I'm about to say you got this.
Yeah, we got to get the rundown. We
Okay,
need
all right.
let the listeners know where they can find you at, how to get your book, whatever new projects you working on, everything you need to get out to them is all you. It's you.
Okay.
Yep.
My name on Instagram is laundromat_mofo, MOEFOE. Um, the book is on Amazon.com, Barnes and Noble, Walmart. You just type it in is Z hyphen BRUH.
I'm put it up right there for them. There you
Yeah,
go.
Word.
it popped right up in your search bars. Got 5 stars on Amazon, 5 stars on Barnes and Noble. Go pick it up. It's even in your Walmart. Just order it when you ordering your stuff. So yeah, Cruddy World LLC is my Facebook page. Um, yeah, so
Word. And if you can leave our audience with anything, and this could, whatever come to your mind, it could be inspirational, it could be whatever. If you can leave them with any words, what would you tell them?
besides buy my book, help each
Of
other
course.
out. Like I really appreciate these brothers that what I'm saying, they took the time out their day to interview me. I'm an up and coming author. We gotta give each other more chances, help each other out.
Sure.
Like I hope they get 1 million views and I hope I sell 1 million books and we both achieve greatness just off this one interview. And so we need to give each other more opportunities and help each other out.
And just to
Man.
let y'all know,
My man.
and you know as well, this is just the first of many to come. I'm sure we will link back up again.
Oh yeah. When the next
Definitely.
book come
We
out.
definitely will
And
be
then
having
Definitely.
workshops and things like that in the future. And I'm sure when your books come out, as soon as they come out, you're gonna be right here. We're gonna be talking about this again.
No
You know what I
question.
mean? Having a great time, just like we did
Yeah,
today.
no question.
Learning
No
some new
question.
stuff. Dre gonna think I'm asleep when I'm
You're so
high.
high. He's so high right
I'm
now.
always they should be used to this by now because this is every day. Normally I'm way worse. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
But no, we appreciate you, brother. Do you have anything else?
Appreciate y'all.
That's everything, man. Thank you for coming on with us,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
yes,
I,
appreciate
I
that.
had a good time.
Yes.
I'm be honest, and I
Thank
learned a
you.
lot.
Thank
Learned
you.
a lot. Just
Thank you.
just a rocket book
Yo,
in
that was crazy,
general
right?
was like, oh, I'm getting one.
Told you it wasn't stupid.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm getting one.
We need
Dre-
one for the
Dre just-
podcast,
that's
huh?
what I was saying. I'm
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
that shit comes in handy. That's you
Well, man.
smart.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
smart.
But so yeah,
Yeah.
that was our show for the day.
First.
What?
How you going to outro, y'all? Keep looking at me when you do the
All right.
outro. There you go. Do it the right way.
All right. So we were your host,
I'm Gook here.
Kevin Durant.
and I'm Big Dre. We want to thank our guests.
Mofo.
Mofo in the building.
All right, and we catch y'all next time.
Like always, listen to today's episode of the Opinionated Podcast. If you love today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, 5 stars. We don't want nothing less. If you're an artist, inspired actress, a songwriter, an author, or you're doing something that's interesting and you want to be a guest on our show, please email us at opinionatedpodcastddk@gmail.com. That's opinionatedpodcastddk@gmail.com. Thank you. Have a blessed day.